This meeting is being recorded.
There we go. Well, we're going to kind of talk about some different things tonight. And of course, we're going to have it open to any questions. I want to really start getting into a growth mindset and start talking about growth as a leader. Because me and Jenny and Mary were talking earlier, and then we talked with another person who is growing their business last week. And I think sometimes, there are things that we all process and go through in our mindset and in our own personal lives, in our journey, in our business lives. And I just kind of process through them, not thinking about taking that and moving that over and sharing those experiences and kind of working through those. So I really want to start doing that more, even if we're spending 15 or 20 minutes on that. I think that's really important. And one of the things that I am learning in the different books I'm reading and the courses I'm taking, it begins in the mind. It's a mindset thing. And if we limit our thinking, we limit ourselves. So I really want to bring about a greater mindset for growth. And I'm going to share a few things in some of my own reading and some of the things in my own experiences that I've just experienced this past week that I think will be very helpful. The few people that I've shared it with, it was very helpful too. And so one of the things I want, and I actually posted this on my TikTok today or yesterday, and because I thought it was just so vital in our way of thinking. And some of you may have heard that sometimes when you're working on something, it's like rolling a ball up a hill. It's very exhausting. It's very difficult getting the ball rolling. But once you get the ball up over the hill, it'll just take off on its own. And that's what you call momentum. And that's a really big change agent. And John Maxwell gives a really great example of that. He says, when you look at your environment and think it difficult to adjust what that environment is like, keep in mind the simple fact, the law of physics. And he uses the example of boiling water. At 211 degrees, nothing is happening to the water. It's just still hot water. You add 1 degree to it and make it 212, and that's half of 1%. All right. And 1 degree, and now you have a bubbling cauldron of power that has become with 1 degree of change. So I really want you to think about that. So many times we may be in that position and it seems like that resistance. We're going to talk a little bit about resistance because we all have it, in all the different areas of our life. And he also gives an example of, I want to create a greater growth for you as a leader, as you're growing and developing. And he used sharks as an example. He said sharks adapt to their environment. He said if you catch a small shark and put it in a small tank, he'll grow to his full potential, but he'll remain small, because he is within that small container and that's as large as he can grow. But if you take, he could be only 6 inches and be at full maturity. But if you take that same shark and you turn him loose in the ocean, he will grow to his normal size. Now think about that. That's pretty profound if you think about that. So if you take it and you're in your mind, you're putting yourself in a little box, okay, of what you can and cannot do, then you're limiting your beliefs, you're limiting yourself. So therefore, we want to create a larger box for you to be able to see yourself. And one of the courses that I've started, what I want to do is I want to play this for you. And what I have to do is I've got to make sure that you guys can hear the sound, which I will do here in just a minute. Hang on. There we go. So share sound. Okay, I think I got it. Tell me if you can hear this.
Slingsby, and I'm so excited that you're
Yes.
here. I want to tell you
Yeah.
a little bit about me, just so that you know who your instructor is, what my background is, and we're going to get to know each other real well in this course. So just consider this a little introduction. I started my career right out of college. I studied business marketing, and I went into outside sales. I love sales training and sales leadership because I've seen so much feeling accomplished and successful, and you're truly there for a few years. I in 2015 when everyone was at that point, things were really taking off on TikTok and Instagram Reels. And as much as I tried to do things the new way, it just wasn't working for me. And I started to realize that Facebook still has an incredible opportunity. And in a way, it's an even better opportunity. But I'm not going to talk about that just yet. That's going to come in one of my other videos. I want to continue talking about me as your instructor and what you can expect from me. So I am going to hold you to a pretty high standard. I'm going to hold you to the standard that you want to become, okay? So I'm going to expect that you put the work in, because I will tell you, no matter what I teach you in this course, if you're not willing to put the work in, nothing is ever going to come of it. What I teach you can truly change your business and your life, but it is going to take work. Sometimes I see advertisements for courses, and it almost tries to convince you that you can do very little and make a ton of money. And I don't know about you, but I've yet to find that model. And I don't think I want to find that model either. Something about it does not feel right to me. Now, what I'm going to teach you, however, is how you can work smarter. So you are going to have to put work in during this course. And you're going to learn a lot of new systems, and some of it is going to feel uncomfortable. I'm warning you. So when you get to that point, I want you to say, you know what? Z told me this is not new. I knew this was going to happen. This isn't a shock to me. Okay. But if we can get past these learning curves and you can build a business that has a huge automated component where it feels good and leads are coming to you, that's the place you want to be. But we've got to do some upfront work, and some of it is going to feel confusing. I want you to know that when I first did this, it felt like that to me too. I remember I would get hung up on one little thing on the computer and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. And it would take so long to figure it out. A lot of that work I've already done for you, and I'm going to teach you, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to have those moments. So I'm going to talk to you about something called the 4 phases of anything that you do, whether it's your marriage, you take up a new hobby like skiing, anything that you go into that you haven't done as a pro before. You're going to go through these 4 phases. So the first phase is very excited. So if you're just joining this course, you're probably thinking, I'm so excited about what's to come. And your excitement is very high, but your skill level is very, very low. Okay. That's a cool place to be because you're excited, right? And so you might have some beginner's luck. It might feel really good. You're going to bed excited, waking up excited, and that excitement's pretty contagious. So it's really a really cool place to be. The second phase is where you start to figure out what you don't know. Okay, you start to figure out what you don't know. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, there's a lot that I don't know. And it feels very overwhelming. So what happens is your excitement starts to go down. That's your will. It starts to go down, but your knowledge is low too. And that's probably the worst place to be is phase 2. I want to tell you that you cannot improve at anything if you don't go through phase 2. You cannot skip over phase 2. You cannot avoid phase 2. You have to go through phase 2 because what you learn in phase 2 is what's going to build everything else for you in the next 2 phases. Okay. So when you feel that moment of, oh my gosh, I actually thought this was going to change my life, and now I think I'm just not good enough and I'm not good at computers, and you're just in this downer place, I want you to know that's great. You don't want to stay in phase 1. So you're right where you're supposed to be. You're in phase 2. Okay. Then eventually, if you can keep showing up in phase 2, even though it doesn't feel good, even though you're frustrated, keep showing up, keep watching the videos, keep doing the work in phase 2. That's the only way to get through it. Okay. You're going to find yourself in phase 3. Phase 3 is where your knowledge just starts to go up and down. And with your knowledge comes your will. And all of a sudden you're going, oh, I kind of get this. Yay, I'm excited. Oh man, I don't get this. Here I am again. But wait, I get this and I'm excited. And you're kind of bouncing up and down. And there are things in life that you're always going to stay in phase 3, right? For example, maybe skiing. Maybe you're never never going to be a perfect, amazing, there's such a thing as perfect. So maybe you're never going to be a professional skier, and you're going to have falls and you're going to be frustrated, but you still enjoy it enough to keep showing up. There's going to be a lot of things in life that you're a phase threer, okay? But if you want your business to truly be at the top of your potential, we're going to get to phase 4. And the only thing that's different between phase 3 and phase 4 is that you've done it long enough that when your knowledge isn't there, because even in phase 4, there are still going to be things that you don't know, but your will never wavers. Do you hear me about phase 4? Your knowledge is still going to go up and down. You're never going to know everything, but your will does not waver because your confidence in yourself. How do you build that confidence? Well, you got through all the other stuff, didn't you? So that's why going through the phases is so important, okay? This is the leadership style that I learned back in 2000, and I believe it's 2011 when I had my first leadership role. And it's taught by someone named Ken Blanchard, and it has stuck with me forever. So I want you to think of this as you go through your course, and try to remind yourself that going through the phases is so important. I am so glad you are here.
So I just wanted to share that because she said that in a nutshell, in such simplicity. And that's exactly what you go through in your Shaklee business. You continue to go through that because you are not going to know everything. And that's why Shaklee has such, I appreciate the community that they have available to us to teach us and share the things that they're going through, and share their fears, and share their struggles, share their resistance. Every single Monday, Mission Possible, they have people on there that are also sharing those same things. So we have so much availability to us that's being shared, and that is what you're going to go through. For me, I have my up and my down days. And, but I know that this business is where I'm supposed to be at, and the difference that it's made in already the people's lives that we've been a part of, the difference it's made in my own life, in my family's life, so I'm here for the long haul to help other people to reach that positioning. And, as I put in one of the emails, is the few constant in life is always resistance. Resistance is always going to be there. Okay. There is no friction-free visions. The best face hardships, miscalculations, setbacks, disappointments, and other barriers to success. The question is, how do you, as a vision-driven leader, respond to it? How should you face resistance? You're going to have your natural elements. You're going to have you in your own mindset. You're going to have others that are going to come alongside there. And there's a couple short things I want to share with you. One of them is called the Semmelweis reflex. And some of you may have actually heard this, but not in that term. There was a doctor back in the early 1800s, and he made a great discovery that there was a very high mortality rate in women delivering babies, and doctors that delivered the babies versus the midwives. And he began to explore that and look at that, what that reasoning was. And he actually found that the doctors were actually doing autopsies in the morning on the women that died the day before, not washing their hands and going in and checking these women getting ready to have their children. So what they were doing is they were passing that bacteria and those infections back to those pregnant mothers. And that's why so many of them were dying. And he said, all you got to do is wash your hands. Use a very strong solution to destroy any of the bacteria and the harmful things so that these women stop dying. Well, they didn't want to listen. They thought he was crazy. And so he was persistent in his pursuit because he really believed that this held true. And he continued to pursue forward. Nothing changed in his lifetime, but it was discovered that was the problem. It came back to those being infected. And again, when you in the one book that I'm reading about vision, the vision-driven leader, he actually said that many business owners and executives don't feel like they know it all. Do we ever really know it all? No. Do we ever feel like, gosh, I'm very confident in this and I really feel like I can move, I can do this and I can do this and I can do that. And he actually had the topic of this with resistance and asked by a raise of hands of all business owners and executives. And do you know that practically everybody in the room raised their hands, feeling like they didn't know what they were doing, and admitting that feeling, to having that feeling, and these are very successful people. And this is what he said. He said, when you work and play at the edge of your abilities, it's easy to feel that way. At the same time, working and playing at the edge of one's abilities is exactly why most of the people with their hands raised are also successful leaders. So what if we didn't allow those doubts and limiting beliefs to have the last word? Since your vision is a snapshot of a new, brighter future, isn't it worth overcoming the stumbling blocks that our internal resistance, that our mind and fear throw in our path? We as vision-driven leaders can leverage our inner strength to lead with courage and confidence in spite of any resistance. Whether it's external or internal, the key thing is to always stay connected to your why. Whether when you hit the wall, when you feel the resistance, the answer is to remember what's on the other side. What's on that other side of the wall, and why does it matter to you? Why is that so important to you? And there's basically, it's important to keep your negative emotions at arm's length. When resistance rears its ugly head, it's not the fears of the situation that are the problem, but how we respond emotionally. While we need to stay emotionally connected to our why, we can't let negative emotions overcome us or swamp us. We may experience fear, we may experience doubt, disappointment, but we don't let them dictate our actions. We notice them, but we refuse to let them control us, and we keep moving forward. And there's actually 3 traits to beat resistance. One is tenacity. Tenacity is having grit and having persistence. And I'm going to give you 2 examples. There is a book, he gives an example. Have you ever heard of the book, A Time to Kill? John Grisham, he has actually a very famous author. When he wrote this book, he submitted sample chapters to 40 different publishers, and not one of them bit. 40. Okay. He continued to submit that. And then finally, a publisher said, I will print 5,000 copies. Well, guess what? More than 300 million copies have been done up to date, or probably more than that now. The gentleman that wrote this book, he was rejected 30 times by 30 different publishers with a big fat no. All right. So finally, he got a little nibble. A publisher published it. And guess what? Not long after it was published, his publisher called him and told him it had hit the New York Times best-selling list. 30 times, 30 no's. So think about that. 30 no's and 1 yes. But he was persistent. What might the world lose if you don't see your vision through inevitable obstacles and rejection that you're bound to encounter? The second thing is integrity. Trust God and always do what's right. That'll always support you. Sometimes I believe God places obstacles in our paths, not to destroy us, but to develop us. And it's important that we don't risk the violation of trust, of those on our team, of those of our peers, our clients, always staying in the pursuit of who we are. And then the third thing is courage. Courage, well, like many important things in life, creating and selling a vision begins with making a commitment. Just like she talked about, it's the will. The will remains steady. You must resolve in your own heart that you're not going to settle, you're not going to sell out. What is that dream? What is that vision? What is that why? When you decide the dream warrants it, you're going to stand and you're going to play it full out. Remember, resistance is always going to be part of realizing your vision. You know, and we are all going to have that. We're all going to have that resistance. And I just, that's what I've been learning. And you're going to discover things about yourself. You're going to discover new ways of doing things. And sometimes it can hit really hard and you feel very inadequate. You know, and I'm part of another mentoring group. I have others that are helping to mentor me to grow as a leader. And, you know, I had a private conversation. One of the gals had said something and it really hit me. Like, wow, do I really come across that way to people? And I didn't like that. So I messaged her and I said, can we talk about that? I want to learn. I want to hear more about what you have to say and what you're hearing me as I speak. So we just began to talk, and, you know, she shared with me, you know, in my approach and how I'm working with people. And for those of you with the personality types, I'm a shark. I'm just get right down to business. Let's get to it and get it done. And that doesn't work well with a lot of people because people can see me as cold-hearted. They can see me as just very business-minded and not caring about the individual, when that is not my heart intention at all. And so I have to allow people to see who I really am and take some time to nurture that relationship. You know, so she really brought that to light to me and shared with me some ways to do that. You know, and one of the ways is asking more questions of people, building that rapport and that relationship. You know, so that is something that, you know, I'm going to work with her. And I said, can we meet again next week so we can talk about that and share some of my own instances? You know, and that's why I want to take, if there's something you're struggling with, or, you know, if we're coaching with something, I want to take the time to do that because that makes a difference, you know, of learning of that experience with other people, because I want to grow and I want to become better at what I'm doing. This is a way to make a difference for other people. And I want other people to be able to see that when I talk to them. Does that make sense? So those are some of the hard, I've learned, I've had to do some re-examining of myself. And that's a constant thing that we do. You know, I'm constantly re-examining, looking at the way I do things. And one of the things I teach and that I do is whenever I do something is I look at, okay, what I've done, what did I do well? What am I going to repeat? What can I improve? And then how can I improve that? If I don't know how, I will seek out the answers. I will ask people. I will Google it. I will go online. I will search out ways to be able to do that. Books is one of my other solutions. If I don't know how to do something or I want to get better at something, I will Google it and I will go online and I will look for books. I will look for YouTube videos. You know, I have a desire to do that. And when you have a desire to do that, you want to learn how to do that. And there are so many other people that have the ability to do that. So I just kind of want to open that up to you before I go on and talk a little bit about our free Facebook group and some of the new products. I want to open it up and see if there's any questions on any of that, or you want me to elaborate on anything that I spoke about.
I think you said there were four things: tenacity, integrity, courage, and what was the fourth one?
I think just 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was just 3. Let me look to be sure. Yeah, 3 traits:
Okay.
tenacity, integrity, and courage. Yeah, vision-driven leader. Excellent book. Excellent book. I'm almost done with it. And then I've got 2 more books I got to start. You're muted, Sandy.
The author of that book?
Is Michael Hyatt.
I just bought that book
You did? It's excellent.
when you put it up. I didn't recognize the
Yeah.
name, and then all of a sudden, yeah. I just got that book.
It's excellent. Excellent book. So helpful.
Marcia, something that I guess I've come across through my NIA practice and trainings is that which we resist, we need the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a good likening to when people are muscle training, when you're working out, you have to have the resistance in order for the muscle to grow. If you don't have the resistance, your muscles will not grow. And it's the same thing with us. It's a matter of having that resistance so that we can actually grow. And I'm actually looking for a rubber band. And if you actually take a rubber band is not useful unless it's being stretched. You know, so it's the same principle for us. We need to be stretched to be able to learn. You know, and again, that's what's so beautiful about the Shaklee community is I can go to others that are my mentors and learn from them. And they don't charge me a dime to do that. You know, they will teach of their own experience, you know, and that's just a beautiful thing that they do. So what I want to do is I'm going to, here we go. I wanted to come into here and share some of for those of you that were on the April broadcast, you saw the variety of the new products, and these, Mary, if you can, I think they're going to be available. The other 2, is it May 15th?
I think so.
I believe it was.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there's there's a lot more products, but the deodorant, there is I can't remember the name of it, a exfoliant body scrub, the name of it's on here. And
Reveal Body Exfoliant.
yes. And then the lip treatment, the lip conditioner.
Serum.
Renew Lip Serum.
Yes. So those are the 3 new ways to nurture your skin. The deodorant is available now. And it has the same mild scent that the body care does, the new trio that we just got in the body care. And it's a nice size. It doesn't come off on the skin. It has the charcoal, but it glides on really easily, and it doesn't have that staining. It has the zinc salts to help neutralize and absorb odor. It has arrowroot and an amino acid derivative that's used to maintain the skin's healthy pH and bacterial balance so that it minimizes odor. The other thing I really love that Shaklee has, it looks like it right on the site, is for those that use an antiperspirant of what their body can go through as they're switching and getting away from the antiperspirant. You know, so kind of educating about that. And there's actually a short video that is done on Shaklee.tv in regards to that. And I think there might be one on the website as well where the deodorant is. But this deodorant, again, what makes it superior? Well, it has the zinc salts, coconut fruit extract, and lactobacillus support the skin's microbiome. And it has, like I said, an amino acid that helps regulate the pH balance. And as well, getting rid and absorbing underarm wetness. So definitely 2 points of difference. And it's very soothing. Again, you can see Shaklee is using that ingredient, the muscadine grapeseed oil. Oh, this is one slide over. Hang on. Here we go. This is where I wanted to go. My slides got out of order. I was trying to get them on there quick today. But so the deodorant is available now. And there is a short video on that on Shaklee.tv. And they talk about what makes that different and the difference of antiperspirants. And then the what's it called? The lip serum?
Lip
Renew
serum.
lip serum.
Lip serum. Renew, right there in front of me. It's not just like a lip balm. I was listening to a thing on it today. It actually is an anti-aging, multitasking around the clock lip treatment. It has a blend of peptide botanical oils. It has extracts to support healthy collagen for plump, youthful feeling looking lips. And you know how a lot of times we get the aging and the lines around the lips? Well, she says to put that all the way around, because that's going to help. Again, remember, the muscadine grape is actually repair cellular DNA, so of course, and then the collagen, and then the botanical oils. And it also actually helps. There's a, I believe, is it, you can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll think of it. But it actually helps plump the lips naturally. It's a restorative and replenishing overnight lip treatment. You can use it throughout the day. And what is in it? Well, here's a list. Oh, menthol. That's what I was thinking. Menthol helps soothe and cool it and gives it that natural plump. It doesn't do it artificially. It doesn't irritate it. It has jojoba in it, argan oil, coconut, shea, omega fatty acids. So it's actually got nutrients in it, which I was like, wow. I was like, that's a lot. But key benefits, it's not only, it soothes and protects as well. It has antioxidants to protect your lips as well. And so I am very anxious to try that, because I am constantly putting stuff on my lips all the time. And then the Reveal Body Exfoliant, again, as a complement to our body trio. This is something you would use just a couple times a week. It has a nourishing, exfoliating dual body treatment. It not only exfoliates and polishes, but it smooths and it hydrates. Gets rid of the dullness, obviously, to reveal the fresher, more radiant looking skin underneath. For really dry areas, if there's specific areas that are more dry. And why? Again, Shaklee doesn't use the parabens, phthalates, silicones, artificial colorants, animal testing, no GMOs. Shaklee, in any of their personal care, there are 2,500 potentially harmful ingredients that they will not use. It's vegan, it's cruelty-free, it's dermatologist approved. As always, Shaklee inspired by nature and perfected by science. And again, it has the moisturizing oils, the coconut oil, the avocado, squalane, muscadine grape seed oil, to moisturize and revitalize for that smoother, softer skin. And one of the things they talked about in the video on this is it has the natural exfoliants of the bamboo, sugar, pumice, muscadine grape seed flour to buff and polish it. But it doesn't have harmful scrubbers to actually tear the small microfibers of the skin. And that's really important, because a lot of them may feel like they're working and they're sloughing off, but it could be creating some microfiber tears that could actually be letting harmful things into the skin. So know that Shaklee's does not. It's a very gentle, soothing buffer. Again, just another big point of difference in comparison with the others. And again, here's the ingredients. I just read those off of what's inside. The other thing you've got to appreciate, with Shaklee, they are always on the move. Remember, they were the first climate neutral company in the entire world. So they are always looking for a way to reduce their packaging and their effect upon the earth. Again, earth-minded packaging. They are in PCR jars, which basically means that they are repackaging plastic. They are taking old packaging and they are reformatting it and reusing it. And this packaging is 50% PCR, okay? And one of the things she said, you may see at least see a little bit of discoloration or a little, brown speck here or brown speck there. That's a good thing because they're using recycled plastics, okay, in order to make these. So that's, again, just another huge point of difference. And all of the packaging for the Shaklee body products is made anywhere from 33 to 77% recycled plastic, or PCR for short. Again, just another huge point of difference that you just really have to appreciate that Shaklee is doing. And one of the things is I want to do is I want to go over here. Did it switch over to my Shaklee?
Yes.
All right. So one of the things, remember, if you want to go to your home page of your Shaklee. So if you're wondering where you can find some of these things, go on hit your Shaklee, go to your front page. You can scroll down and then go to events, because this is where all the new stuff is. Okay, right here. There's a short video. The new Shaklee body products. Okay, so here's a short video about that right here. Another place that you can go, and again, there's a plethora. Remember, they've got the new free vanilla chai life shake for any new members or ambassadors, free ambassador for anybody that spends over $150. We have our new life shake plant peach, only available for a limited time. They have a new updated Meology sponsoring flow to make it easier so that somebody can share their email with you and you can actually finish that Meology order for them, which I thought was really great. And then if you need to see more of those videos, we can go back to here, go into my business, and then you go right to your tools. Right at the top. If you're on your phone, you hit the little paragraph bar at the top, and that'll take you over to this dashboard that you see. And you can go into your Shaklee TV. And this is great because, as you can see here, introducing Shaklee Body. This is a very short 30-second video that you can share with other people. And then if you want to see the most recent, over on the side here under video, see it has a catalog and an itemized list of certain topics, and then the most recent. And again, this gets into Mission Possible Monday, right here, Renewal Lip Serum and Reveal Body Exfoliant. This will take you all the way through. I haven't seen this, but I'm anxious to see. This is a new landmark study video with Dr. Jamie McManus and Nancy Baldwin talking about our research. There's the Protect deodorant, again, getting into all those details of the deodorant, but then also switching over from an antiperspirant. Just very, a lot of useful information right here in Shaklee.tv as well. Any questions or comments on any of that? Anybody? Okay. Who's ready for our Earth Day challenge?
I have questions.
All right.
My first question is, because I missed the Wednesday meeting, I understand that on one